My beloved child, let me share a story with you. A man was walking alone on a treacherous path, burdened with grief and uncertainty. The skies above were dark, and every step forward seemed like an impossible climb. But amidst his despair, a quiet voice spoke to him. "Do not fear, trust in me." As he lifted his gaze, the storm subsided, and he realized he was never truly alone. That man could be you. Today, as the world grows heavy with conflict, fear, and doubt, I invite you to place your faith in me. Your struggles may feel overwhelming, but let this message be the light guiding you through the darkness. Faith, like a tiny mustard seed, has the power to move mountains. It is not the absence of challenges, but the courage to face them, knowing I am with you every step of the way. In this video, we will journey together through the meaning of faith, its transformative power, and the extraordinary blessings it unlocks in your life. You are not here by chance. This message is my call to your heart, a reminder of my love, and an invitation to let go of fear and embrace the peace only I can provide. If this resonates with your soul, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Christian Philosophy Daily. Together, let us illuminate the path of faith and share this divine light with the world. Faith, your light in the storm. My beloved child, allow me to tell you a story of courage, doubt, and the unshakable power of faith. There was once a sailor, a man seasoned by years at sea, caught in the fiercest storm he had ever faced. Waves towered like mountains, crashing against his ship with unrelenting force. The wind howled, tearing the sails to shreds, and the darkness of the storm swallowed the horizon. His compass spun wildly, useless against the chaos. Fear gripped him, whispering that he was lost, that the sea would claim him. Desperate, he fell to his knees and cried out, "Lord, where are you? Have you abandoned me?" And then, in the roaring storm, he heard a voice, not loud but steady, cutting through the chaos like a beacon. "Do not be afraid. I am with you. Trust in me, and I will guide you to safety." The sailor rose, clutching the wheel with trembling hands, not because the storm had ceased, but because his heart had calmed. He no longer relied on the compass that failed him or the stars hidden by the clouds. Instead, he fixed his trust on the unseen hand steering him through the tempest. By morning, the storm had passed, and the sailor stood on calm waters, knowing he had been saved by faith. My child, your life may feel like that storm. The winds of fear and doubt may batter you, and the waves of uncertainty may threaten to overwhelm you. You may feel as though the compass of your heart has broken, leaving you adrift. But hear my words now. You are not lost. I am the unseen hand guiding you through the storm. Faith is not about calming the storm instantly. It is about calming your heart in the midst of it. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. I have promised. Remember this when you feel the weight of the waves. The storms of life are not meant to destroy you, but to teach you to trust me fully. When you release your grip on the illusion of control and allow me to steer, you will find peace even in chaos. Like the sailor, you must take hold of the wheel, not because you can see the way, but because you trust the one who does. So, my beloved, when the storms rage and you feel alone, know that I am with you. Fix your faith in me, and I will guide you through the darkest tempests. The morning will come, the waters will calm, and you will see that I never left your side. Each storm is a chapter in your story, a testimony of my love and faithfulness. Trust me, for I am the calm in your storm and the light that leads you safely to shore. Faith, the anchor in life's unseen battles. My beloved child, let me share with you a story, one that may feel all too familiar in today's world. There was a woman named Sarah, a single mother juggling 2 jobs while trying to provide for her children. Each day felt like an uphill battle. The bills piled up, the hours were long, and the weight of her responsibilities pressed heavily on her shoulders. No one saw her silent tears at night, or the moments when she whispered, "I can't do this anymore." One evening, exhausted and overwhelmed, she sat alone in her car after a long shift. The silence was deafening, and the doubts began to creep in. What if I fail? What if I can't give my children the life they deserve? In that moment of despair, she looked up and saw a sticky note her daughter had left on the dashboard. It simply read, "We love you, Mom." Her tears began to fall, but this time they were different. It was as if a quiet voice spoke to her heart. "You are not alone. I see your struggle. Trust me, and I will carry you through." Sarah's story is your story, my child. Life's challenges may feel insurmountable, and the weight of the unseen battles, financial struggles, health worries, or the fear of not being enough can drain your strength. But I remind you, I am your anchor. Faith in me is what will steady you when the waves of life crash around you. When you feel overwhelmed and alone like Sarah, remember my words. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. I have not called you to fight these battles alone. I am here, waiting for you to place your burdens in my hands. So, how do you face these unseen battles? Begin by letting go of the idea that you must handle everything on your own. Surrender your fears and uncertainties to me. When the pressure builds, come to me in prayer, even if all you can say is, "Lord, help me." Next, surround yourself with reminders of my love. Just as Sarah found strength in her daughter's simple note, look for my messages to you in the everyday moments. A kind word from a friend, the warmth of sunlight on your face, or the quiet assurance that comes when you open your heart to me. Finally, trust that I am working behind the scenes, even when you cannot see it. Just as Sarah did not know how she would make it through, I provided for her in ways she never expected. I sent people into her life to support her, opened doors she didn't know existed, and gave her the strength to keep going. My child, your battles are not invisible to me. I see you, I know you, and I am with you. Place your trust in me, and like Sarah, you will find that even in your hardest moments, I am your anchor, steady and unshakable, guiding you to the peace and strength you seek. Faith, trusting the path you cannot see. My beloved child, let me share with you a story of a man named David, a story that echoes the struggles many face today. David was a young entrepreneur, full of dreams and ambition. He poured everything he had into building his business, working long hours and sacrificing time with his family. For years, his hard work would pay off, but then came the unexpected, a sudden economic downturn. His savings dwindled, debts grew, and the business he built with his own hands teetered on the brink of collapse. One night, alone in his office, David buried his face in his hands and whispered, "Lord, I don't know what to do. I've tried everything, and nothing is working. I feel like I'm walking blind, with no end in sight." The silence in the room felt heavy, but within his heart he heard a gentle voice. "My child, trust me. You do not need to see the whole path. You only need to take the next step I show you." This is your story too, my child. There are moments when life feels uncertain, when the plans you've worked so hard for seem to unravel. You may feel lost, unsure of where to turn or how to move forward. But I remind you, faith is not about having all the answers. It is about trusting me, even when the way ahead is unclear. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, I have told you. These words are not just promises. They are a guide for how to walk through life's uncertainties. When you let go of the need to control everything, you will discover the peace that comes from placing your trust in my hands. So what does it mean to trust the path you cannot see? First, it means surrendering your fears to me. The unknown may feel overwhelming, but I am the one who holds your future. You may not see what lies ahead, but I do. Trust that my plans for you are good, even when they lead you through valleys of uncertainty. Second, it means walking step by step, guided by my word. Just as David learned to take small steps of faith, so must you. Reflect on my promises each day, for they are the light to your path. Remember, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. It may not illuminate the entire journey, but it will always be enough for your next step. Finally, trust in my timing. The world may tell you to rush to fix everything immediately, but I ask you to wait. Trust that I am working behind the scenes, aligning circumstances for your good. Like a farmer waiting for the harvest, have faith that the seeds you plant today will bear fruit in due season. My beloved, The path you cannot see is the one that will teach you to trust me completely. Take the step before you, and I will guide you to places more beautiful than you can imagine. Faith, strength in the waiting. My beloved child, let me tell you a story about a woman named Anna. A story of waiting, hope, and faith that transforms the heart. Anna was a devoted believer, holding on to a promise she felt deep in her soul. She longed for healing in her life, not just for her body, but for her spirit, which had grown weary from years of struggle. She prayed fervently, day after day, asking me to intervene. Yet as the months turned into years, she began to wonder if I was listening. One night, sitting by her window, she watched the rain pour down, each drop reflecting the questions in her heart. "Lord," she whispered, "how long must I wait? I trust you, but my heart feels heavy. Are you still here with me?" At that moment, Anna saw a small seedling outside her window, struggling to grow against the force of the rain. It bent under the storm, but it did not break. Then she heard my voice within her. "My child, I am with you in the waiting. Just as the seedling grows stronger with each storm, so too are you being strengthened in this season. Trust me, for I am preparing you for the blessings I have promised." Waiting, my beloved, is never easy. It feels like standing still while the world moves on, leaving you behind. But waiting with me is never wasted. It is in the stillness that I work the deepest within your heart, preparing you for what is to come. Do you recall my promise? They who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. This is not just a hope for the future. It is my assurance for your life today. So what does it mean to find strength in the waiting? It means trusting that I am working, even when you cannot see the results yet. Like a farmer waiting for the harvest, you must trust that the seeds of faith you've planted will bear fruit in due time. Waiting also means embracing my timing, not yours. The world teaches you to rush, to demand instant results, but I ask you to trust in my plan. Just as the rain nourishes the earth, the time you spend waiting is nurturing your faith, refining your spirit, and drawing you closer to me. Finally, remember that waiting is an act of faith. It is choosing to believe that my promises are true, even when the evidence around you says otherwise. It is surrendering your doubts and leaning on my unchanging love. My child, you are not forgotten. I see you, I hear your prayers, and I am with you in every moment of the waiting. Trust in me, for the blessings I have prepared for you are far greater than you can imagine. Be still and know that I am working for your good. The waiting is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of something beautiful. Faith, finding peace amid life's noise. My beloved child, let me tell you the story of Michael, a man much like you, navigating the chaos of modern life. Michael was a father, a husband, and a professional. His days were a blur of meetings, deadlines, and responsibilities that seemed to multiply faster than he could manage. His phone buzzed constantly with emails, notifications, and urgent requests. Even at home, his mind remained tethered to his work, stealing away the quiet moments meant for his family. One evening, after yet another exhausting day, Michael sat in his car outside his home, unable to step inside. His heart felt heavy, burdened by the noise of the world and the weight of expectations. He whispered, "Lord, I feel lost in all this. Where are you in this chaos?" In the stillness of that moment, he noticed something remarkable. Across the street, an elderly man sat quietly on a bench under a tree, seemingly unfazed by the noise of the city around him. The man wasn't looking at his phone or rushing to meet a deadline. He was simply present, soaking in the beauty of the evening. Michael felt a nudge in his heart, and my voice gently reminded him, "Be still and know that I am God. Turn your gaze from the noise, and you will find my peace." This is your story, my child. The world clamors for your attention, filling your days with distractions and demands that pull you away from what truly matters. But I am not found in the noise. I am in a quiet place, waiting for you to pause and listen. You see, peace is not the absence of chaos. It is the presence of my stillness in your heart. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. This is not just an invitation, it is a promise. When you bring your worries and distractions to me, I will trade your anxiety for peace. So how do you find peace amid life's noise? First, make time to pause each day. Even in the busiest seasons, take a moment to step away from the noise and be still in my presence. It may be a few minutes in the morning, a quiet walk, or simply closing your eyes and whispering my name. Second, guard your heart and mind against the distractions that pull you away from me. Reflect on my words, for they are the anchor that will keep you steady in the storm. Remember, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Finally, trust that my peace is not fleeting. It is eternal. The world's distractions may promise satisfaction, but only my peace can truly fill the emptiness in your soul. My child, the noise of the world will never cease, but neither will my presence. When life feels overwhelming, know that I am here, waiting to quiet your heart and fill it with peace beyond understanding. Turn to me, and let my stillness guide you home. Faith, overcoming fear through trust. My beloved child, let me share a story of courage and trust, a story that may reflect the struggles in your own heart. There was a man named Jacob, a father of two, who found himself standing at the edge of an enormous cliff. Behind him was a wildfire, its flames consuming everything in its path. In front of him was a rope bridge swaying dangerously in the wind, stretching over a vast canyon. His children clung to him, their faces pale with fear. The flames drew closer, and the bridge seemed impossibly fragile. Jacob's mind raced with doubts. What if the bridge snaps? What if I can't protect them? But amid his panic, a voice within him whispered, "Take the first step. Trust me to hold you." Though his hands trembled and his heart pounded, Jacob stepped onto the bridge. It groaned under his weight, but it held firm. Step by step, he moved forward, clutching his children tightly until at last they reached the other side. When he looked back, he realized the bridge had never ever been as weak as it seemed. It was his fear, not the bridge, that had threatened to stop him. This is your story, my child. Fear is the fire that chases you, whispering that you cannot make it. It tells you the bridge is too weak and the journey is too dangerous. But I am the strength beneath the bridge. When I call you to take the first step, it is not to lead you to harm, but to guide you to safety. Do not let fear paralyze you. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God, I have promised you. Fear will always try to undermine your faith, but trust in me is the antidote. When fear tells you that you are alone, remember that I am walking beside you. When it tells you that you will fail, remember that my strength is made perfect in your weakness. So how do you overcome fear through trust? First, name your fear. Do not run from it or bury it deep within you. Bring it into the light of my presence, and you will see that it is smaller than it appears. Second, remember my faithfulness. Look back on the times I have carried you through difficulties, when I turned your despair into hope. Just as Jacob found that the bridge was stronger than he believed, you will find that my promises are unshakable. Finally, take the first step. Fear cannot withstand action fueled by faith. Trust does not mean you will not feel afraid. It means you will move forward anyway, knowing I am with you. My beloved, fear may always try to find you, but it will never overcome you when you place your trust in me. Take the first step, and I will guide you across the bridge, holding you steady through every trial. The fire may rage behind you, but I am the path that leads you to peace. Faith, letting go to let God work. My beloved child, let me share with you the story of Evelyn, a woman whose journey of faith mirrors the struggles many face in today's fast-paced world. Evelyn was a perfectionist. She planned every detail of her life meticulously, believing that control was the key to success. Her job, her family, her future. Everything needed to follow the perfect script she had written. But life, as you know, does not always go as planned. One day, a series of events unraveled her carefully constructed world. She lost her job unexpectedly, her financial stability was shaken, and the pressure she once managed effortlessly began to overwhelm her. Evelyn tried harder to regain control, working tirelessly to fix everything on her own. Yet the harder she tried, the more her efforts seemed to fall apart. Exhausted and defeated, she finally cried out, "Lord, why is this happening? What am I doing wrong?" In the stillness of her heart, my voice spoke, "My child, you are holding too tightly. Let go and let me work." This, my beloved, is the lesson I wish to teach you. Like Evelyn, many of you hold on so tightly to control that you leave no room for me to move in your life. You carry burdens that are not yours to bear, thinking that your strength alone is enough. But I tell you, true faith is not about clinging, it is about releasing. Cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you, I have said. Psalm 55, verse 22. These are not mere words, they are a promise. When you release your worries to me, you make space for my power to work in ways you cannot imagine. Let me guide you in how to let go and let me work in your life. First, surrender your plans. Understand that my plans for you are greater than anything you could ever conceive. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Trust that even when your path takes unexpected turns, I am leading you towards something far better. Second, stop striving for your strength. Your value does not come from your achievements or your ability to control every outcome. It comes from being my child, loved and cherished. Be still and know that I am God, Psalm 46:10. When you rest in me, you will find peace that surpasses all understanding. Finally, trust in my timing. The world demands immediate results, but my work often requires patience. Seeds must be planted before they can grow. In your waiting, know that I am working on all things. Evelyn learned this, my child. My beloved child, as we come to the end of this message, let my words settle deep within your heart. Faith is not an escape from life's challenges, but the strength to face them with me by your side. It is the bridge that connects your struggles to my promises, the anchor that holds you steady in the storms, and the light that guides your steps in the darkest moments. Today, I invite you to trust me fully, not just in the triumphs, but in the trials. Not only in the clarity, but in the uncertainties. For we walk by faith, not by sight, I have said. And in that faith lies the peace you seek, the purpose you long for, and the love that never fails. Take a moment to reflect on what we have shared today. What burdens are you carrying that need to be surrendered to me? What steps of faith have you been afraid to take? My child, let this be the day you choose trust over fear, surrender over control, and my promises over the doubts of the world. If this message has touched your heart, I encourage you to like and subscribe to Christian Philosophy Daily. Together, let us build a community of faith, hope, and love. I also invite you to share your story in the comments below. What challenges are you facing? How has faith transformed your journey? Your words may inspire someone else to find the strength to believe. Remember, my child, I am with you always, from the first step of your journey to the last. Trust in me, and you will never walk alone.